Bună ziua, sunt Bogdan Alecu și bine ați venit la o nouă emisiune ZF Cum Construim România, realizată de Ziarul Financiar și CTP. Astăzi discutăm despre planurile de viitor ale CTP în România și în Europa, pentru că este cel mai mare proprietar și dezvoltator de spații industriale din Europa continentală. Să vedem unde ne putem duce, unde poate merge piața locală, cât de mult poate crește și când vom ajunge, spre exemplu, la 10 milioane de metri pătrați de suprafață industrială și logistică modernă. Mai departe vom discuta și despre energie, pentru că zilele trecute am avut un blackout în Spania, vedem că și în România crește suprafața panourilor fotovoltaice instalate. Să vedem cum se protejează companiile din România de astfel de pericole, sau dacă ele există sau nu. Îi avem astăzi alături de noi pe Peter Čerešník, CEO, director operațional al CTP și Managing Director interimar pentru România, și pe Bogdan Pătrâncă, Energy and Department Manager în cadrul CTP România. Hello, Peter. Salut, Bogdan. We will switch to English now.
Thank you.
Peter, first of all, we are now at the end of April. We had our first interview in February. How was the first trimester, or even the first 4 months of this year for Romania and for CTP in Europe?
Good months, busy time. If I look at if I take the number versus numbers comparison, we continue to deliver on our expectations, on our financial plans and the KPIs. What is slightly different is the atmosphere in the market, the level of uncertainty, the dynamics of decision taken. Some of the discussions with our clients are taking longer than it used to be. Some of them are opening for extra questions because of they look at this. People refer a lot to the Trump effect. The Trump administration, it doesn't bring too much peace into the souls of people around the globe. But in reality, if I look at the fundamentals, market continues to be quite strong. We see a lot of opportunities. It just takes a little more energy to deliver on our aspirations.
But is it now the time for the entrepreneur? Because Donald Trump is an entrepreneur. He likes to move quickly.
Yes.
And for example, for CTP, that was one of the assets. Raymond Vosch is an entrepreneur. He likes to move quickly. Is now the time for the businessman that moves quickly, takes fast decisions?
Absolutely, yes. If you look at the recent history of CTP since the IPO, which is less than 4 years ago, we generally doubled the size of the business. And how we do it, we tend to outperform the market based on our strategy, which is partially tenant-led, so we go and build new properties based on the pre-let, so where the leasing is secured. But to a large extent, we continue to be speculative developers. Speculative means you don't know who is going to be your client upon completion of the construction program for that given property. Some might say it's sort of risky kind of approach to business, but we have very strong track record of usually fulfilling somewhere around 80–90% of the space to be leased upon completion. So you can call it speculative in the early day when you start digging into the ground, but through the time we work hard, and the advantage is that potential clients are seeing that there is construction activity, feels very different from some of our competitors who would come with beautiful catalogs, CGIs, and they would show, okay, imagine on this meadow in a year or so we can build something for you. At the same time, we would be showing erection of the load-bearing structure. We would continue doing so. So in reality, our own DNA is based on simplifying decisions and taking them fast enough. And in reality, we grew to quite big multinational business. And I have to tell you and admit, we are now nearly 1,000 people. and we are trying to keep the growth of our personnel behind the growth of our business. Why? Because we have the experience, the long track record of being super efficient when we operate across small teams, giving enough of the decision power to individuals and small teams to take a decision and to move on.
Thank you, Peter. We will switch to Bogdan. Bogdan, we were talking about energy. You installed solar panels, the company installed solar panels on most of its warehouses. How do you control the energy from these solar panels? And how important is to have enough of them and not to have too many of them to overcharge the network?
Basically, we are going in a small business, so we don't grow too fast. Mm-hmm. We are trying to grow together with our tenants' needs. We don't do as much in the grid, so we don't send too many energy in the grid. Actually, these days when we have the vacation, we have like a paper from ENERGIE to close our system, and we close it because we understand that something wrong can happen if we introduce too much energy in the system and nobody consumes it. So even Peter doesn't know yet. We lost some money there, but like this, we help the grid not to overflow and not to happen what happened in Spain in the end.
So it's also very important to protect the system.
In Romania, the system is quite well maintained by the teams. I don't know who is doing actually, but they really do a great job and inform everybody, look, we'll have this period when we don't consume it, don't put energy in the system, we cannot take it too much. So like this, we are trying to protect also us, because if the system fall down, also our tenants will fall down with them. Partially true, because what I want to say that as a support for our tenants, all our business have a diesel generator. So in case of something happened, our diesel generator will start and will support our tenants' needs, not at full capacity, but at least the mandatory system that they need.
Mm-hmm. How much time do you have on diesel generator usually?
It's instant, less than 5 minutes.
And for how long?
It's
1 day, 24 hours?
It's much as is needed. Actually, we really hope that if something similar with Spain will happen in Romania, we have enough diesel to put in our diesel generator. Mm-hmm. So this is the only impediment that everybody will search for diesel in that moment in order to fulfill. But most probably all the system that need energy, they have diesel generator, at least what I know, in the office building, in warehouses as we have. So all the business that need to run, they still run in case of anything like in Spain will happen.
Can you run both on solar panels and diesel?
We don't have a system like this yet, but yes, there are systems like this. They already start to implement it. Some company, they already start to combine the diesel generator with battery and with the solar panels in order to maintain the system all the time. So taking the energy from where it is the cheapest in the end. Solar is the cheapest. So basically they stay with solar if it's enough. Then they switch to battery, and if not, the generator will start. Our system are already in place, so it will not be very easy to change them, but it is the possibility, and maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 years, if it's needed, and we see that is needed, we'll do also this.
Thank you. Peter, will this blackout in Spain change your plans for the future in any way when it comes to investment in new warehouses? I don't know, do you plan to have them also as blackout proof? Is that an option, or maybe for clients to pay extra?
Excellent / dangerous question. Because if I accept the question as you put it, it actually outlines the expectation this will come again and again and again. I hope this is isolated event, because of if it comes similar situation, different country, same country in foreseeable time, then probably we might have a deeper problem with security of the energy system and so on. In reality, when talking to people from the energy sector, we have some counter forces happening these days. So we are looking at the technologies, how to decrease the energy consumption across the industrial properties everywhere. I would just apply it on the industrial properties. At the same time, we are going big and bold about the Green Deal in Europe. We want to electrify the car mobility. In reality, you decrease somewhere and then you intensely increase somewhere else. So the instability of the energy systems are a thing we need to pay attention to. So in reality, what Bogdan described is generally step-by-step motion towards the microgrids, regional grids, where you put together a big industrial park, mid-sized city, few villages, and you are adjusting and continuously investing into technological advancements which are making it resistant from outages of the main power grids. Shall it change our view on what we are building and how we are building? I would tend not to overreact now, because for me the parallel is this already mentioned Trump administration. You see the reaction of the global financial markets. It's scary, but what is the fundament which has been changed? It's been rather the rhetoric: tariffs yes, tariffs no, I do this, I don't do this. It seems rather like unfortunate use of bargaining power than anything else, and yet we see major technology stocks to decline by 15–20%. So either it was fundamentally in wrong place, which I don't believe so, or now the market is overreacting. So if we equally overreact onto this so far isolated outage in Spain, we might end in similar situations. So for us, it's rather about continuous improvement. So what we do, we are now currently testing some battery systems. So in reality, the combination of the solar and battery systems, later integration with the diesel generators, improvements on the building efficiencies, usage of better quality of the thermal insulation, heat pumps combined with solar. We are about to improve the energy consumption profiles of most of the industrial properties. That would be my preferred way instead of overreacting on this outage.
How are rents in 2025?
Wow, good, bad, stable. Difficult to say. I don't expect too much of rental growth this year, to be very direct. We are closing some of the deals at very decent rent levels. Mm-hmm. We also have some situations where we need to support our tenants because of challenges of their particular businesses through adjusted rent levels. So in reality, I'm super happy because of the scales and sheer size of the CTP portfolio, because of you want to show some flexibility for your tenants in terms of some adjustments of the rental levels, shorter deals, more flexible deals with way in or way out. Economically, you can do it only at a large portfolio because of it's fundamentally, the flexibility goes very negative against your funding. So in reality, if you have small portfolio and you have a very promising tenant, but they would say, okay, I need to taste it and I will go for just 1 year now, then you are hitting very negatively your funding opportunities. So you will have very higher cost of funding for your business. If you apply it over the 14 million of square meters of leasable space, which is currently the size of CTP business, then it's a very different position. And yes, we need to control the dosage of this supportive, proactive moves with the client. So in reality, the market, both in Romania and across the rest of the markets where we operate, remains quite strong. That's very good news. It takes a little longer to see the decisions. Rental levels might slightly increase in some of the markets and would be stalled in some of the markets. That's my expectation.
Mm-hmm. Have you discussed with your clients about increasing the rent in 2025, or now it's just stable and you'll keep it that way?
Most of the leasing contracts currently in industrial sector are including the indexation provisions. So standard situation is that the rental levels are indexed on annual basis in connection with the changes of the consumer price indexes, mostly related to European currency. So even without talking to clients, you see some dynamics happening. But I'm also personally part of quite a lot of client negotiations, so I can sense how sensitive it's becoming to talk to them about the competitive rental levels. But so far, as I have said, the market remains very stable.
Mm-hmm. The plan was to double the size of Romania, according to Raymond Voș's statements last year, yes. So around 5 million. How fast can we go to 5 million? CTP to grow to 5 million in Romania?
Currently, I think we are somewhere around 3.3 million in the Romanian market. To get it to 5 million, 6 million, just simply to double, I don't know. It's difficult to predict, but I can elaborate a bit about some of the levers how to get there. Some of it is naturally grow the market. Some of it is the international dimension of CTP business, because of we are serving the needs of 1,400 clients across 10 markets. And 2/3 of our business growth are actually secured from existing client relationships. So it might be client being in country A, or expanding to country B, or being here in Romania, expanding the presence, moving somehow, sometimes transitioning from country to country. Then another layer is that we strongly believe in the nearshoring. Simply, if you want to make Europe successful and competitive, we need to produce for Europe in Europe. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of global motion, mostly Asian companies. So last year we secured somewhere around 20% of our growth through cooperation with the Asian companies, majority of it with Chinese investors. And when they are coming, it's mostly production facilities, so they come to produce the product for the clients, for end users in Europe, for Europe. So from that perspective, there is some of the levers. Also, we expect more of the regional expansion in Romania. So now we are operating across 14 locations. More of the parks locations, we have few, but the major cities for our business, definitely the wider Bucharest area, and then if you go namely Timișoara, Arad, Oradea, Sibiu, Cluj, Craiova, so plenty of places. I still believe we need to go to more places, and that will be definitely tenant-led. Tenant-led means that when they come and ask, okay, can you do something for me over here or over there, we would give it the consideration. Our natural behavior is that you ask me to go first to some location, I will consequently ask number of other tenants, okay, would you be interested? And if so, then we would start looking for the expansion land. So generally, I don't know if it is 5 years, 7 years to double the business. I don't have the crystal ball. The mission of the team over here is that we need to maximize our effort to get there. Because of, and we have also, it's a little funny fact, Romania is the second largest market for CTP. The largest is Czech Republic. Czech Republic is somewhere around 4.4 million. And I was taking the oversight of the Romanian market from Raymond, our founder and CEO. I asked him, okay, what's the mission? And he said, like, okay, let's keep it simple. You do your best to beat the Czech Republic to become the #1 market across CTP. So that's the mission. The mission is very aspirational, to grow so fast that we will make it to #1 location for CTP for business.
Is Schengen one reason?
Definitely, yes.
How did you feel it? How did you feel it in CTP in Romania, for example?
It's easier for all of our tenants, or for namely for logistical tenants, very, very important. For me, it's about saving few extra seconds, pulling out the passport and going different line on the airport. But when it comes to business, we sense a lot of opportunities also to grow Romanian business based on in the border neighborhood locations, to strengthen the cooperation, for example, across Romanian-Hungarian border. So a lot of this Schengen easiness is really part of the business expansion considerations across many industries. So for us, it's super pleasant to be with Romania part of the Schengen.
Thank you. Bogdan, we were discussing every time almost about technology. You implemented smart metering in the warehouses. Do you have also AI
No.
checking the numbers, or will you?
As Peter doesn't trust electricity, I don't trust AI. AI still doesn't exist yet. So AI need to be trained. So somebody need to explain to AI what to do.
Mm-hmm.
We are not there yet. I don't think we'll be the next years, but what we'll do with the numbers, again, I told you, we'll collect them, we'll put it on our system, and we'll make our life easier. Instead of collecting number manually, we'll take it directly from the system and we'll use it very fast for leasing, for property, for whatever is needed, even to learn how to construct the buildings, meaning not to invest so much in all this trafo station bigger, all these heating pumps bigger. So we'll try to reduce our capacity because actually we don't need them. And also we trust to teach our tenants not to ask too much because they will pay for nothing in the end. So we are collecting data, we are putting it in the system, we start to use general system that they already in place for property, for construction, for invoicing, everything. But no, I don't think we'll start too soon with this.
In comparison with a regular warehouse or an older one, 10-year-old, for example, 10 to 15, how much energy can you save? Electricity or water by metering, by implementing all these new solutions?
Everybody's saying saving. It's not saving, it's readjusting our needs in the end. So basically, everybody think you'll use more. In reality, they don't use. Everybody think that they need to stay with the light all the time open. They don't need to stay with the light all day open. So basically, it's not saving, it's readjusting our way of living.
Okay.
So we consume the same energy on the same time, but we don't allow people to consume more than they need today together with the system. This is the big change. So we don't change the equipment. The equipment are already very efficient. Mm-hmm. We already installed the most efficient equipment that they are in the market, and then the physics cannot be changed anymore. So we are in the limit of the physics today. But what we do with this system and AI, let's say like this, actually it's a program, we enforce our people not to lose energy, not to lose heating, not to lose gas, not to lose water. So this is what we are doing today.
The business is growing, but there are a few examples where you lower the energy consumption. It's just offset by growth of the volume of what is produced, what is transported. So we have nearly full portfolio completed with LED lighting installations. A lot of saving, better quality of working environment. We are using grey water across vast majority of our buildings. We are very careful to thermal insulational capacity of the panels and the roofs we are installing. We go somewhat ahead of the competition in most places. We go quite robust around the solar, but with solar it's a little tricky because of you want to copy the demand and the consumption need within the building, not to create another instability of the major grid. Mm-hmm. In many places we are using thermal pumps as the standard. So there are a few examples how we really lower the energy consumption. Overall energy consumption doesn't tend to go for less, for a very simple reason, because of there is GDP growth, there is economic growth, people like consuming more. So in reality, you can optimize the energy consumption on a unit level, but not the overall volume, because that would mean that people will stop consuming that much.
You were saying earlier about nearshoring, about Asian, especially Chinese companies coming to Europe. But I saw, for example, Chinese manufacturers, car manufacturers, I saw that they're going mostly to Western Europe. Spain, I saw some negotiations in Germany. Tesla went near Berlin. BYD now is working in Hungary. How do you plan to attract them in Central and Eastern Europe? Because when I look in the past a bit, for example, the South Africans, the major funds, they came to Central and Eastern Europe. They saw the potential here. Why are the Chinese going to Western Europe and not the Central and Eastern Europe?
I'm not fully convinced that the statement that the Chinese investors tend to go more into the Western Europe is actually matter of fact because of, yes, if you look at the OEM car manufacturers, the car brands, car makers, they made quite a lot of investments in Western Europe in recent years, but significant part of their supply chain, producers of the car parts, are actually in Central Europe. Because of convenience, availability of labor, still more favorable labor cost, easiness of access of these markets are stable. So in reality, when I look at how we work with these Chinese clients, and I have to admit we are learning big way about the cultural differences of how the business is conducted, done. And it's a long way for us to really understand how to properly approach Chinese investors because they are coming from very different world. And for us, sometimes it's somewhat confusing. So that's the reason why we opened our business desk in Asia. We have currently 4 or 5 people over there. We plan to expand it very soon to 20 plus. Because we strongly believe into that connection. Sometimes it's also resolving the language barrier. But what we do for these people, they are coming, we help them with the visa, we take them to authorities, we enable them the access to government investment agencies, we are analyzing the labor market and working with the labor agencies, we are building affordable housing for them. So in reality, Central Europe is a very convenient place for Asian or namely Chinese investors. And we see a lot of it happening. Even despite what you refer is matter of fact, some of these very visible investments are going to these countries in western part of the Europe. But BYD in Hungary is a good example. Another one, car maker, is now in selection of their future OEM location, the assembly location, and they are deciding between Spain and Slovakia. So there are a number of options. So how is it happening? Plus, the amazing fact is that you secure a investment of Chinese investor or any Asian investor into Central Europe or a place where we do business. And if you do it right, that's one of the specifics of the business culture. If you do it right, if you serve them right, if you really deliver on the promises, on the expectations, they are becoming the best promoters of your business. So they would get you in touch with their suppliers because for them it's quite convenient to say, okay, I have these 5 key suppliers. Can you please talk to them about them bringing their production capacity just next door? Because for me it would resolve so much of hassle. So I'm very optimistic this trend necessarily needs to continue. I don't see any other scenario.
How competitive is Central and Eastern Europe from your point of view?
If I take it through the prism of our business, I shall say very competitive because we do fantastic business in Central European countries. But the reality is a little more mixed because it's a mix of the educational system, the legislation/bureaucracy, the government support, and so on. So it's a mixed view. So if you look at the Asian investors, Chinese investors they see the sweet spot in Hungary, Slovakia, Serbia, somewhat Romania. Taiwanese investors, they would, for example, love to go to Czech or Germany because there is always some geopolitical layer in how they behave. In reality, Central European countries are still doing extremely well when it comes to educational system. I know that we tend to do a lot of self-criticism about the quality of the educational system, but the reality is more positive than what we tend to say. So people are getting very well educated and people are hungry to professionally grow and to deliver and to fulfill their dreams. So Central Europe remains to be the source of the growth. I extremely believe in growth of Poland and Romania, namely, in coming decades for various reasons, connection with the healthcare, education, quite political stability, even despite it might sound a little weird if I say it these days in this country. But there are all the ingredients to continue these fantastic stories. And also Romania is quite sizable country, and size matters a lot. Mm-hmm. So I expect there will be a lot of economic progress here.
So we should expect a faster GDP increase in the next years.
Yeah, I'm not macro analyst, but I do. I do expect above average GDP growth in Romania for the next 10, 20 years.
What are the assets? Are the people a good asset in Central and Eastern Europe?
People have been good assets since quite a while. Now, if you look at the road infrastructure, for example, it's improving immensely, which is fantastic news. Then think about, I don't know when and how, but this terrible war in Ukraine, at some point it will come to an end. And most probably Romania and Poland will be the two countries who will be inseparable parts of reconstruction of that country. So there is a lot of upside. And yes, there is a lot of risk because of if we forget about that we need to get better every day at our businesses, then we can be easily out of the game. I see it also internally. I've seen people at CTP who were fantastic in their jobs, but then they realized that the company, the size, the complexity is growing faster than few individuals. And that's very unpleasant to see. And it's not just CTP thing, it's general thing. I do my job and I might feel, okay, I'm grade one for the job today, but my business is growing, so I need to keep the pace with what's going on around me, to be on top of it, to remain to be top performer, to achieve something. And I think there is a lot of natural talent in this part of the world for people to be business oriented. People in Romania, in Central Europe, are pretty good traders. And we are also very crafty, very handy, so we can produce a lot of stuff. So the inflow of the investments, it's naturally part of what is happening over here. Sometimes it feels like we are creating the barriers how to slow it down. Because of this geopolitical instability, the language we use sometimes about immigrants and the economic freedom. So like, look, Romania now is a very rich country. Whether people say yes or no, it's matter of fact. And if you want to continue to growing, either there will be better demographics or Romania will need more people from outside to come and start living over here. Because if otherwise, how can you keep the prosperity? Automation doesn't resolve all of it. Some of it, yes. AI, in a few years, yes. But you still need talented people to get it done.
That's right, yes. Thank you, Bogdan. As your new job in CTP, I started a bit wrong, Energy and Property Director. What are your main challenges now? What do you plan to do in 2025 in this new position of yours?
To reset our mind in the end, to really understand the team, because I work with them for past 1 year. I work from a different position. I didn't look at their problems as property managers. So basically my first challenge will be to learn what they are doing and how they are doing, and to start to try to improve their way of doing in order to achieve this, our goal to make our buildings more efficient, to make our tenants more happy in the end, because we want to keep them and we want to keep our buildings. And also to little by little to introduce these smart systems in all our activity in order to continue with our information. Basically to keep our data with us, not with the people. To have a continuity, doesn't matter who will run the business, to have the continuity of the business. This is actually my main goal here in property as a property manager.
Can a good property management increase the value of the building or increase the rent?
For sure, both of them.
Or increase the income for the company?
Not the income. I don't think we'll increase the income by property, but what we can do, we can invest smart in our buildings to make them more attractive to our tenants, and also to make the cost of living in our buildings lower. So basically, as we told you last times, we try to reduce, at least to keep the cap of the energy, and like this our business will have, a better attractivity, because if a client can spend less money on the daily activity, they can pay more for the rent. So in the end, yes, we can increase our value of the building, we can increase the rent by doing so, but we need to focus first to understand our buildings, to understand our tenants, and to really give them what they need as cheap as possible in the end.
Thank you. Peter, we were discussing about the Chinese coming to invest in Romania, but I also saw some activity from the Americans. They're also coming to invest more in Romania from what I saw. Is this also a trend? Are we going to see more money also coming from the West?
Yeah, actually, very good comment, question. We refer a lot to Asian, Chinese, because of that's tangible, that's very present, that's happening now. We talk to many of them. We travel a lot to their markets. We visit their facilities. We are trying to show them how it can work over here. But that trend is actually very general. So we have American clients investing over here. We don't mention it as much because it's been more common historically. So international companies headquartered in the United States being present everywhere. Generally, the overall trend is the nearshoring. So you need to be closer to your final market with your production capacity. Will it mean some sort of deglobalization? Actually, I don't think so, because of the raw materials, the precious parts of whatever kind of product will still travel the world. The knowledge will still travel the world. Maybe we save something on the edge. Maybe it's ESG good. It's good for ESG because we might, by completion of more of the products close to the final consumer, we might save some of the energies caused by the transplantational activities. So in general, it's pretty much calming, because of for a while it felt like, okay, America is there to have money and brains, and Asia, namely China, is there to produce everything. So most of consumer goods you have at home is probably, most of the clothing is probably produced somewhere in Asia. I expect that to change over time because of, yes, there is different geopolitical situation. Countries, regions are becoming more protective. It's natural response to insecurity, uncertainty. But at the same time, there is plenty of very logical good reasons why to do car production closer to final user, or watch production, or whatever, TV set, I don't know, gaming console. So from that perspective, it's not just isolated Asian thing. It's not Chinese thing. It's just we see more activity of international investors into going places and spreading smartly their productional capacities.
Are you living now, you and the company, the most, I don't know, dynamic period of your career, or the most interesting, or most active?
Yeah, it's when it comes to our business, probably yes, because of uncertainty is actually entrepreneurial opportunity. When it comes to my personal dimension, I just completed 2 years with working with CTP, working close with Ramon as our founder. Sometimes it feels like I'm with the company for 20 years. Sometimes it feels like there was nothing before. Working at CTP is endlessly intense. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good energy. It's a lot of stress at the same time. It's enormous travel. But what makes me super happy is that I always tell to myself, look, we at CTP are super lucky people, because of if I help to build a bicycle production plant, I'm part of bicycle business. Next day I talk to somebody producing microscopes. I'm a little mosaic little part of mosaic of microscope production. The day after, I'm talking to some 3PL about some logistics, so I can say, okay, I'm helping a little bit to move product from A to B. So CTP story, industrial properties, it's very exciting place. Plus you travel places, I spent maybe more than half of my time directly talking to our existing clients and new clients and trying to do the deals and negotiate. So it's super exciting. But we pay the price because we have a lot of fun and we can experience a lot, but it's taken enormous hours. So sometimes people are joining us just to very soon leave us because it's not for anybody, it's not for everybody. And I never oversell the story for people who are considering to join. I always say like, okay, look, unless you wake up and you tell yourself, I desperately want this, I recommend you never do it because it's so intense. But we have fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for the interview. Looking for some new growth this year, and hopefully we will see a stable economy and, of course, growth in the economy. Thank you again both.
Thank you for having us. Have a great day.
Mulțumesc de asemenea și telespectatorilor noștri, în mod special, desigur, mulțumim și celor de la CTP că au fost alături de noi pentru aceste 12 emisiuni și nu uitați, în fiecare zi de miercuri, de la ora 3, să urmăriți Cum Construim România.